You don't market to agents because agents aren't buyers. You market to the buyers, and the buyers bring the agents. And then the agent's going to come in, and the agent's going to negotiate. And when I'm negotiating, I've mastered negotiating. I'm going to build a relationship with that agent. I'm going to do everything in our power to get that agent working for us and close that transaction.
Hey, Doug. I've actually heard a couple of conversations out there where you can either, sell your home yourself, pay these minimal fees to have some company come in and maybe put it on an MLS listing or things like that. Could you maybe talk about the top 2 or 3 reasons why someone should have a real estate agent on their side?
I think the most important piece of it is it's a compound transaction. What a compound transaction means, it's got many different phases to it. You have putting it on the market, you have pricing it accurately, you have making the market aware of it, creating competition for it. Sure, you can put your house on the market and you can sell it at the wrong price every day of the week. But if you don't have a marketing plan, everything has a marketing plan. Coke has a marketing plan, that's why they have billboards. Then you've got the contract, which can be very tricky. You can have a contract that's enforceable or not enforceable, all right? Then from there you have inspections, you have appraisals, you have all sorts of issues that can come up. You've got attorneys, you've got to know where to take it. You have financing, if the buyer's got financing or not. You need to know that if you go into contract with somebody, can they actually close the transaction? Who's going to follow up on that? Who's going to have the questions necessary to ask the lender if they run an in-file credit report, if they've verified their income, verified their assets, if they've actually got a likelihood of closing it? Because in real estate, even though the market is very, very short on inventory, your first buyer is always your best buyer 100% of the time. So if your first buyer can't close and you've missed opportunities because they bought something else, the guy who would buy your house, that's going to cost you a couple of 3, 4, 5%. You might pay a commission of 6%, but an agent's always going to net you more money by 2 to 3 to 4% by their skill sets. And if you try to do it on your own, it's kind of like doing your own open heart surgery. Chances are you're going to die in the process.
Could you walk me through a time that maybe someone had tried to sell their home on their own and maybe their house sat on the market and then eventually they called you? Has that happened to you?
That's happened many, many times. So that would be a for sale by owner. And a for sale by owner thinks that, he can stick a sign in the yard and the 6 guys that drive by his house every day, one of them might buy it. And they fail to realize that you got to create traffic. You got to create competition. You create competition by exposing it to the market in the very best light. How do you do that? You do great photos. You get it on every portal that's out there. You let the buyers know. You don't market to agents because agents aren't buyers. You market to the buyers, and the buyers bring the agents. And then the agent's going to come in, and the agent's going to negotiate. And when I'm negotiating, I've mastered negotiating. I'm going to build a relationship with that agent. I'm going to do everything in our power to get that agent working for us and close that transaction. I'm going to make sure that that agent is skilled enough to even have a qualified buyer to begin with. Because a lot of them just need a sale. If you work with me, I don't need a sale. I'd like to have your house sold, but I don't need it. I'm going to make money. The thing is if I'm a good negotiator, not motivated by needing money, then I can get you the most money because I'm negotiating on your behalf.
You mentioned a second ago about the different places where you mentioned about not marketing to other agents, but getting great pictures and everything like that. What media are you currently using to help promote your customers' homes?
We're using FMLS, MLS, which is what everybody does. We're using Zillow. We're using Google. We're using Trulia. We have a whole group of probably 50 syndicated sites that it goes to. And I tell people, if you can't find your house on the internet when you're listed with me, you probably haven't turned your computer on, because it will be everywhere. It'll show up in people's feeds on Facebook. It'll show up with properties all the time. It'll show up with price changes. It'll show up with whatever we do. In an ideal situation, when we price your house, we're looking to be within 1 to 2% of asking price. All right, the reality is that most of the market of agents negotiates at about 5 or 6%. You could almost do it better yourself than with an agent who doesn't have experience. And I guess the other big question that people don't realize is how long does it take to make a great agent? And the reality is it takes about 10 years of an agent doing a lot of transactions every year to make a great agent. Somebody could be in the business for 20 years and have done 20 transactions. That's not a good agent. That's not a strong agent. Any problem that we see in a real estate transaction, we've probably seen before, and we can fix it this time just like we did last time.